What's going on, guys? MPG Poppy here. This is my first ever vlog. This is my handy dandy whiteboard. Many a plan has been plotted on this very whiteboard. So today I'm going to talk to the camera a lot about my 2025-2026 plans. Now, every year in around this time, June, July, kind of right after the state meet, things kind of calm down a little. I do my 2026 planning. Now that's annual planning for the year. That's the things I want to do and accomplish in 2026 that pertain to my future goals. Okay. So in order to plan for 2026, the first thing I have to do is I have to go and I have to look at what are my long-term goals, okay? Because if I don't know what my long-term goals are, I won't know what I need to accomplish in 2026 to get to those long-term goals. Now, my long-term goals, I don't think you can see this because the camera flips it. My long-term goals are broken down into three sections, okay? Section one is where I'm at now, right? I've got one location, sometime next year, I'm gonna grab a house. I have a nice car, and that's kind of basically where we're at. Right now, I'm really comfortable in my apartment. It's cheap, it's convenient. I don't have to do much to maintain the place. If I do get a house, it'll have a pool and stuff. So it'll be just like I'm not gonna buy a house just to have a house if it's not somewhere where I want to actively live. Right here, I have a pool. Again, it's cheap, it's convenient. It's 5 minutes from the gym. It's what I want, but sometime next year, because I want to accomplish my goal, I will be buying a house. So there's that. Section two, part two of my goals is to be able to fly private. Now, in order to do that comfortably and practically, I need to have three gyms, and I need to own the real estate on all three. That'll produce enough cash flow to comfortably be able to do that. Still have a nice house, still have a nice car, stuff like that. And I kind of go back and forth with these goals because they are these particular goals are material. So having material goals, isn't not really how I want to live my life, but it's just a really good metric. It's a really good, just objective metric of how you're doing. Am I developing really, really great products that people want to buy? If I'm developing really, really great products that people are going to buy, the money's going to come from that. I'm going to be able to accomplish these checkpoint type goals. Everything else is kind of subjective. Am I going to say oh, I want to meet the love of my life and stuff like that? That's just really not, that's not even something I'd love to have a family and stuff like that, but that's not something I could objectively do. Otherwise you just end up crashing yourself out over it. So there's that. And then, Tier 3 is to actually own the jet. Owning the jet's going to take 10 locations. Owning the properties will probably take some significant outside capital as well in order to scale to that kind of a level, whether it's from investors or from a bank, in fact, owning the properties that these gyms lie in. And so those are my goals. And then I have life goals, and then I have gym goals and stuff like that. So I guess the best next thing to do is kind of to talk about what my rest of 2025 looks like, and then kind of get into 2026, how that relates, what I'm doing now relates to that. I'm competing on, these are the personal goals. So I'm competing on, I can't see, does this flip? That does go backwards. Okay, I can't write backwards, but I'm gonna have to flip the video or something. November 1st, I'm competing in Cali. My birthday is right before that, so it'll be a nice little birthday weekend. Chris Ferrati, Big Body Ferrati, if you guys knew him, me and him are duking it out, and then we're gonna go to the Rams game the next day. It's gonna be a really fun weekend. If I lose, I gotta buy him dinner. If I win, he buys me dinner. So it'll be a fun little thing. It'll probably be my last heavyweight comp. I'll probably do, and then I'll just go out to 120 and just compete for fun every year. Hopefully just get stronger over time. But I got that November 1st. Before then, the week before, on October 26th, I have, can't write, I have the Boo Bash. And if you notice, I'm going backwards. I always do stuff backwards. Like when I think about things, you always want to think about the end first. Okay, what's the end result I want to achieve? And then what are the steps in the middle, right? End result, what I want, steps in the middle, right? End result first, then steps in the middle. So we got the Boo Bash. The Boo Bash has a $1,000 team prize. I think we're gonna actually boost that up. I like to reinvest everything into the meets, so we're gonna do that as well. September, I have nothing in September. To be completely honest, I'm gonna be watching football in September. I'm just gonna be chilling, hanging out, training for that comp. October, same thing. We'll be doing all that. Around October 1st is when I decorate for Halloween. My birthday's on Halloween, so I'm a big Halloween guy. September, pretty chill. It's really chill at the gym as well. And then August 10th, we have 5W is renting MPG for their meet. I'm going to be doing a lot of the live production, live stream type stuff. I'm not going to be directing the meet. This is actually going to be really awesome for me. I'm kind of over directing meets. There's a lot going on. And it kind of takes away from like kind of the cool live production stuff I want to do. I'll be doing some amazing stuff at that meet. I'm going to try and bring in people to do commentary. I'm going to have a live in-meet production. So like, I'm hoping to have like a live scoreboard. I'm hoping to have a live instant replay. So lift happens, replay, stats, all that stuff. I won't have to worry about the active direction. So I'm going to be really focused on that aspect. I'm going to be really, really working on that. That's like the first thing I'm going to be like immediately working on after my July meet. I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. 2 weeks from now, I've got Barbells and Barbecue. This is going to be a super chill meet. I'm going to be testing a couple things during that meet. This will be my 25th meet I've directed. We've got this thing kind of down to a science. We've got really great staff. It shouldn't be too big of a deal doing that. So yeah, I'll kind of be training through all this. July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, actually, I'm pretty close to getting to compete. And then we got December. December, obviously, I have a really big family, really big now. I'm the oldest of 5, and I've got 3 nieces now. And like everyone's got a significant other. So it's like really, like everyone's got a birthday all the time. So the holidays are especially crazy. Besides like regular life, like there's always something, always someone's birthday all the time. I do really live really close to my parents, which is nice. But like family comes first, and that does consume a lot of time on the weekends and stuff. So I try to do as much of that as possible when I don't have events. But yeah, July, August, September, October, November, December, I've got the Power Express. This is going to be a huge meet. Huge. It's usually a big meet, and it's going to be even bigger this year. There's no November meet, so it's just going to be like massive. $5,000 team prize. It's going to be absolutely huge. Super stoked for that. That one. Really excited for that. I really hope I can flip this video because otherwise it looks stupid. And then, yeah, really excited for that. That'll be awesome. And then it's nice because like the meet's on the 20th. So it'll just go right into Christmas week. And I'll just be chilling with the family, hanging out, enjoying that time. So really, really happy about that. That's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited about that. Again, hopefully the live production I do in August that I can scale into the events that are coming along. That's kind of the plan. Then we got January. I got fuck all in January, honestly. Like January is gonna be mainly gym stuff. The gym is extremely busy in terms of volume of people visiting the gym in January. It's absolutely nuts. It's not even in terms of signups, like we get lots of new signups, but it's in terms of like volume of people in the gym. Absolutely nuts. That'll be all gym stuff. We do good promotions. We try to get the word spread out there and stuff. And then February, also really chill. I might go to Sheffield again. I don't know. Still TBD. It's a fine meet. It's just in the worst location. England's a horrible country, and it's in one of the worst cities in England in the middle of February. We can do better as a sport. We can do better. And I know they are. They're moving into November and they're doing some other stuff. That's going to help, but we can definitely do better as a sport on that regard. March, I've got MPG Madness planned. This one is going to have another team prize, which is going to be really cool. And then probably the same 5K. Still TBD. And then we kind of got national season, kind of mixed into March and April. I usually travel out to wherever those nationals are. Network, meet people, talk to people, hang out. It's much better now that I'm like not working these events. I get to fly out, I work out in the morning, I hang out, I go to the primetime sessions. It's much better. I see all my friends and stuff. Yeah, that's really fun. But yeah, I am super excited about how well the team format did at the state meet. I put up no prize money and people were like ecstatic about like trying to win as a team. I've always kind of known that's the case. That's why I started implementing it into everything. So yeah, super excited about that. And super excited to continue to expand that. So kind of my plan is what I want to do, and this will kind of go back to my goals, is we'll do, each meet will be its own thing. We'll have a winner each meet, second, third place. Each team that wins gets some points, right? Something like 12 points. Second place team, 9 points. Third place team, 5 points, whatever. Then the team at the end of each season or each year who has the most points will go to a championship. And then we'll take a second place and a third and a fourth place team. And then we'll have those teams, we'll have the first seed and the second seed face off for first place, third and fourth place team face off for third place. That's kind of where everything is really pushing in my mind. That's where everything is kind of pushing towards in my brain. Now, I kind of want to get into like when we talk about my goals and stuff. My big goal, and when I talk about my goals with powerlifting, I don't come from a place as a competitor. I come from a place as a sports fan. Okay, I'm first and foremost a sports fan. Okay, so when like you develop a startup, you develop some sort of business, you're supposed to be addressing the problem that you believe exists. And the problem that I believe exists is powerlifting is just not watchable in its current construction. There are watchable qualities, but we really haven't been able to cultivate powerlifting into the right package. Because right now we have some good components of powerlifting, but we really haven't been able to monetize a live broadcast, and that like really hurts. Like when sports like contracts and TV rights contracts are at record high volumes, to not be able to get any sort of a piece of that is really disappointing. And I think powerlifting is genuinely an exciting sport. There are some moments where I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm watching some of these things, and then there are other moments I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, we need to be able to improve this. So yeah, like that's where I'm at. That's what I'm really excited to do. So in order to do that, we have to develop more watchable formats, which means they need to be faster paced, they need to be more entertaining. The events need to be shorter. That's all easy stuff. The kind of the difficult thing right now is developing a really, really good live broadcast. That's one of the things, like if I can delegate some of these responsibilities, I can focus on making a better live broadcast, or potentially hiring another company to do the live broadcasts. Because really, the live broadcasts, like the video quality is great. Like the guys who do these broadcasts, like they look good. Like there's no problem there. They tend to work the Powerlifting America ones at least work really well. The Sheffield one works really well. There really aren't a lot of errors. It's just the problem is they're kind of missing the big point, and the big point is broadcasts are supposed to entertain. So like if the point of your broadcast first and foremost is to entertain people, you like that should be like the start, right? So like when I watch a live sporting event, it starts with a crazy intro video to get your attention, and then it transitions into getting people excited about what's coming up for the event, and then the starting lineups, the national anthem. Like it's creating this pageantry and this production that for some reason we don't really have, and it just seems kind of easy to do. Like we can't do starting lineups, that doesn't cost anything. We can't do a national anthem, again, costs nothing. It's really weird that we can't quite get these things particularly right. Like for Sheffield, for example, like you got 20 countries represented, play the British national anthem. You're in Britain. Fine. Play God Save the Queen. I don't care. You don't need to play the American national anthem or anything. Make these sports more pageant-esque. Will really help the entertainment value. And remember, getting people to watch is the key to the sport. That's all that matters is getting people to watch. The more people that watch, the more money advertisers are willing to pay. The more money advertisers are willing to pay, the more money we're going to have to reinvest to promote the sport more, to continue to have it grow. It's a cycle. It's a very, very easy to understand cycle. And we just fail to be able to either develop that cycle and then continue to make the cycle grow for any variety of reasons. I know it takes a lot of willpower to do what I'm proposing to do. If it were easy, someone would have already done it before. It is difficult. And I do understand that. But I'm excited to attack the challenge. And sometimes I think to myself, one day I'm just going to wake up and, SBD is going to be like, oh, we've got 15 teams across the United States and they're in different cities and our uniforms and blah, blah. And then I can just go back and run my gym and fall asleep and I can watch it on TV and sit in my hammock in the shade. So maybe someone watches this, uncovers it and goes, hey, this is kind of interesting. He was onto something, right? Uber wasn't the first ride-sharing service, but they were the ones who got it right. And so I can try to get it right, or maybe someone else comes along, they see my content, and they're like, oh, I want to get involved, or I want to do it myself, or steal it, or whatever. I don't know. Intimidation is the most sincere form of flattery, so I don't really care. But yeah. Wow, this got off. These will go off the rails. This is my first one, too, a little practice with what I want to do. But again, wow, we're on like 17 minutes. Holy cow. Y'all are dedicated. Okay, so they're off here into March, into the team stuff. And then we've got April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Fine. All right. This is kind of where that cuts off. 2025 is kind of already planned. I've actually surprisingly kind of done everything I wanted to do in 2025. I just want to finish the year really strong. I want to make a really, really good full-time hire so I can have some help with all this stuff. I want a number two. I've had some good interviews with some people, and hopefully we can keep that train rolling. But yeah, I mean, the kind of the main points and the main goals and the main things I want to accomplish, I've kind of fell short in terms of what I want to do with the Pro Duel and in terms of what I want to do with the powerlifting stuff. I think I've exceeded what I want to do at the local level. I haven't been able to get the volume of lifters I wanted, but it turns out that if there's not a qualifying total, like lifters will not do local meets. There just isn't like the lifters who are doing local meets are the elite. I'm getting the best athletes in the state of Illinois and the Midwest to come to my meets to try and win the money. I'm not getting any other lifters because those lifters don't have to hit a QT to go to nationals. So like we have this huge chasm of we get first time lifters who are trying the sport, and then we get really, really high level people who are trying to win the prize money, and no one in between's doing it because they already have QTs. If they get a QT, they can just go to nationals, right? And so like we don't have that middle tier. It really hurts the local meet business itself. So I've kind of pivoted to do more serious events with more prize money. The problem is when I do prize money, it cuts into the profit margins that we're making. So we have to kind of make that up somewhere. And that's kind of where the big goal of 2025, 2026 is. And it's to develop a really robust live streaming service. So that means that every meet you come to, we have a really robust live stream. We have a team that does the live streams of the meets that have prize money. Local meets, we're not really going to do anything crazy. But we want to have a really robust live stream, and we want to just continue to iterate and improve on that live stream. So those are my two goals are to double membership at MPG at the gym, and to develop a really robust live streaming service. So that's I want to do a fully vertically integrated live streaming setup. So that means that it's from the app that you watch on to the broadcast to the broadcasters. They're all underneath what I'm trying to do. So those are my two goals, and if I accomplish those, which I don't really think those are like super crazy goals, I'm gonna have a really, really good year. And when I talk about doubling the member, I want to kind of define these goals a little bit. When I talk about doubling the membership, I really just want to double the revenue. If the numbers kind of work out the way they work out, that's fine. We really just want to double revenue. I want to double revenue and maybe keep the profit margin the same. Because I'm going to be bringing in more staff to help double the membership. Let's break this down. Let's erase. I got a sponge. Low-key hack, the backside of a sponge is so good for erasing the dry erase board. Okay, so two big goals. I forgot all about the personal goal side. I want to beat Big Body in November, and then I want to cut down to 120 and just compete once in 2026 at 120, at or under 120. Yeah, that's pretty much it as far as my personal goals and stuff. And then get into a house at some point. I'm really in no rush. This stuff, I go to my parents' house and my dad's under the sink, cleaning out something. And I'm fuck that. I'm trying to do crazy shit. And you can't really do crazy shit if you're doing stuff like that. And I understand that's just part of the responsibility of owning a house. Probably not for me. I'm not sure. I do want a house with a pool because I do want to entertain and have people over at some point. It's part of my goals. In zero rush at all. If I get to a point where I can make it as convenient as possible to get into that type of situation, I will. I can have a housekeeper. I can have I can have all these things that do everything for me really comfortably. Then I'll do that, but not right now. Okay, so double membership. So I'm going to talk, there's no really reason to get into numbers. I'm going to tell you what our plan is. In order to double the membership, I've actually been already working on this particular goal. In order to double the membership, we had to double our capacity first. So we had to double our ability to take in new members. So there were specific choke points. So equipment you would have to wait for. And our mission is to, our core value number one is availability at the gym. Availability means any number of things. So it means when they come to the door needs to be able to be unlocked, right? So what that means is you need to be open 24/7. So we have a key card system, you can get in 24/7. Great. That's one. Two is availability of equipment. So the gym can't be too crowded that you can't get on equipment. So in order to be able to do that, we had to kind of fix some of the choke points. The particular choke points were the cardio section. We just did that all got upgraded. And then the cable 8 stack, we needed a second one of those. And it actually looks like we may need a couple more cables, potentially. We'll see how that goes. It is the summer, so this is as busy as it gets all year is during the summer. And maybe sometime around Christmas. So in 2x the membership, in order to 2x the membership, we increase the availability. And then really all we have to do in order to stay on track for this is just to continue what we've already been doing. What we've already been doing will keep us on track to double membership this year. And the reason for that, you might be like, well, how is it just going to double? Gyms are built on referral networks. That's why they take so long to like build up that membership, because for every member you add, they tell 2 friends, and if they tell 2 friends, that's 4. They tell 2 friends, each, that's 8. Like they build through referral networks, and so that's what we believe is going to happen. Is we are going to be able to climb through that. We've talked a little bit about a slight price increase for new members, and obviously we do a small annual increase every year for all members. Running gyms get more expensive every year, and with our low crowd philosophy, we generally do that when we hit a certain membership threshold. We raise prices slightly. It's usually anywhere between $5 and $9. It's not anything significant for most people, and we always provide more services in exchange for that. If we're raising prices, we're adding more of this, we're adding more of that, we're doing more of something, so people are getting their money's worth for that. So we want to double the membership. We had to double capacity. And then we just need to stay on track. Yeah, I'm not going to like double the capacity and then not also provide additional staff. I think we can add additional staff, and they can actually help with other things, and then that will justify them like kind of just hanging out there. Okay. Yeah, that's it for that. And then as far as I want to develop a full vertically integrated stream. And so I kind of thought a little bit about this, like going back and forth in my head, like blah, 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 what am I going to do, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can go and hire a company, fly them out, and have them do that. And I very well may do that. If it's a couple $1,000s a broadcast, I may just bring them out, have them do the broadcast, have them do the media services, and then not have to worry about this particular thing. I could also do it all myself, and I could hire hire a bunch of people to do different roles and do the stream. That does tend to be a little risky, especially because I don't have experience doing that. But that's kind of why I want to do it, because I do want to gain that experience and that leverage, because it's still going to take a little bit of time for us to ramp up and get to where I want to do. So if I just focus on the rest of 25, building that out, and then 2026 is a deployment of that, I think that's going to be really, really good for what I'm trying to do. So I also think there's a hybrid solution, right? I bring it in-house. I do it in-house, but then I do it in-house with consultants and with another company to kind of merge those two worlds together. Maybe I fund everything, they consult, and then we kind of merge the two worlds together instead of them funding everything and doing it. Like, we kind of merge the two worlds. There's that option too. And that's going to be like the next episode, right? The next episode is like how we get to that and how we do that. So really like excited about the potential for that. But yeah, I think those are my two big goals. Everything else is kind of ancillary. I mean, the thing with goals is that you set them and then they're going to change. That's the nature of things, but at least you may be a psychopath, but at least I'm on a path. Okay. So, that's generally what I'm doing, where I want to go. I'm going to keep this under 30 minutes. If you stayed the whole time, beautiful. Send me a DM with the word macaroni if you watch the whole thing, and I'll figure something out for you. I'll send you a case of Fairlife or something. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.